Hey guys, I was thinking about what I want to talk to you today, and I just realized that my video yesterday wasn't really complete about everything. I mean, I just talked about the place I live in, but I didn't talk about the other expenses you have when you're living somewhere else that's not your hometown or home country, if you will. So now I'm going to talk about that. So first, you have to take into account, I mean, somewhere things are going to appear in the screen. I'm really stupid, so I don't know it's here or wherever. The first thing is the living expenses. I mean, when I say living expenses, I mean the place where you're going to sleep, basically. So, I mean, that can range from, in Barcelona at least, from, I mean, as cheap as it may be, 250 euros maybe, as cheap as it can be, and and it can go as high as 600. I mean, there are really expensive apartments here, but it also depends on the area you want to live about. Some expensive apartments are not really that centrally located because downtown Barcelona has older buildings, and older buildings tend to have tiny apartments as this one. So, I mean, this building is really not that old. I think it has been refurbished and remodeled a few, at least once, because of the area of the elevator. It's really easily noticeable. But other buildings are not like that. I used to live in a building that was way older. It had no elevator. I lived in the what for me would be the fourth floor, and I had to, no, third floor, and I had to climb up there by the stairs because there was no elevator. Not that I mind about that. And yes, I mean, actually, when I left the apartment was because the owner was going to remodel it because it was really old. The floors, the walls, everything was really old. So it depends on that how much you spend on your living expenses as for the place is concerned. So you can go for either way. The second thing would be the food. I think that's the second most important thing you have to take care about. The food you will expend. I mean, I spend roughly between 10 and 15 euros per week in the supermarket, between like things I really need, like vegetables and soup and pasta and meat. Not a lot of meat, but meat, chicken, beef, even tofu if you're vegetarian or vegan. That's going to be a little more expensive in general, but not too much. Everything about food, even like frozen pizzas and sweet things for the weekend or for dessert, even that would amount to, I mean, at most, even if you're super picky, if you only drink almond milk, or if you have to buy every single fresh vegetable, I would think that up to 20, maybe 25 euros per week, which would be a lot, but I think that's at most what you will spend. So that's up to 100 euros per month for food. I mean, and that's a lot. I mean, I spend way less than that for a month. The next thing would be transportation. I buy the 10 journey tickets. It's 9.95 euros for that, so it's practically €1 for each trip. The tickets for one trip actually costs €2, so you're saving like half the price. I mean, it's half the price if you buy that. There are trimestral, there are monthly, there are weekly tickets, and even for visits of 1, 2, 3 days, there are tickets for that too. The ones that are for longer times, you have to submit like a written thing that's downloadable on their page, and you'd have to give that, and then they mail you your card with your name and everything, and you have to pay like on the machines on the subway for that. The transportation here is great because it's all integrated, so you can use the tram, the metro service, the trains, and the buses, all with the same ticket. So for example, the other weekend I just went to the beach and I used the subway line to a certain point, and then I changed to the tram, and it was only one ticket, so I don't really have to pay a lot of time. So that's really better. You have to take into account that if you visit or if you're staying here, there is subway service to the airport, but it has a special fee. I think this is only for the metro and not the train, because the last time I went into the airport by train, I didn't have to pay anything, but by subway on Easter I did have to pay, and it was really annoying because I didn't know, and it cost like 4 euros. It's really expensive, ridiculously expensive for a trip to the airport, which is not even that far. So, and actually it is far in the sense that it takes you like forever to reach there by metro. I mean, if you fly out of Terminal 1, which is not really often the case, Terminal 1 is for like low-cost flights. That one has train service, and it's more than likely you don't have to pay anything still. But for T2, which is where most of the international flights leave and arrive, you do have to pay the extra fee. So that's really awful. In order to go to the airport, I mean, if you don't go that often, I think the best option is to go by taxi. I mean, you have to pay like a little bit more, between 15 and 25 euros, depending on where you live in the city, but it's way better than grabbing the train or the metro, because it takes forever, and in a taxi it's like 15 minutes. I mean, it's here, the city is not that big. Other expenses that you might have to take into account are, for example, if you go out a lot, you have to take into account that the cost of beers I mean, a beer can be as cheap as 1.50 to €2. If you buy it in the supermarket, it's way cheaper. It's not really that good, but it's cheaper, and it can go up to, I don't know, triple that. So it depends on the place you're staying. Obviously, cocktails and fancy things are a little bit more expensive. Clubs are really fucking expensive here if you're into that. So you should check beforehand and take that into account for your monthly expenses. If you really control that, I think it's important. Certainly you will use your cell phone. So I actually pay like 15 euros a month for basically for using internet on my cell phone, because I don't really make calls. I mean, I could call from my cell phone, but I don't do it because everyone has WhatsApp and Facebook and everything nowadays, so calling is not really that necessary for me. But yeah, if you need to call or internet, I use a service that gives like 1 or 2 gigabytes per month for 15 euros. But I think there are more speeds and capacities and everything for obviously more higher prices, and you have to check that with all the telephone services that are here, such as Verizon or Vodafone, and what's the other? Orange also. I mean, those two are the big ones. I think there's Virgin, and there's other like minor ones. So you might have to check that out. And also, if your place doesn't have internet, you will have to check that out. Movistar is the other one. So yeah, I mean, other expenses I don't really know right now. For example, you might want to leave on a weekend to a nearby town or something. That's something you have to see beforehand, because sometimes it can be expensive depending on the time of the year, or on the transportation you use, if you go by car, by train, by whatever. So it really depends, so you should check that out before. I think that Spain is a little less expensive than most of Europe, maybe not all countries, but certainly more than, let's say, Germany or the United Kingdom or the Netherlands. I mean, in some places, I mean, even like a loaf of bread can be really expensive. So yeah, I mean, everything, you should check it out like before, but you know, everything has different prices. If you want, I could do a video with like prices of things, although I have done a couple of videos about the supermarket, and I've given the prices there, so you can see like around how much everything is, like I don't know, like a carton of milk or a bottle of water, or you know, the things that you really buy often. So yeah, I don't really know what else I missed. I'm certain I missed something, but yeah, any questions, I hope you can put them in the comment section. And if you please like this video, I hope that many more people like my videos, because I think there are subjects that people want to hear about, and maybe people that are moving or that are planning a trip want to know about. And that's why I do my walk with me videos, because I think they're fun, not only for people that want to know the city but cannot come here, but also for those that are planning a trip here, in order to you know, check what they can look for when they come here. So I think that's entertaining for me and for everyone to see. So yeah, I'm going to edit this, and I hope you have a nice afternoon, and hopefully not as hot as I'm having. So thank you very much.